I don't want to start by picking on Antoine Griezmann, but his camp, the people around him, are certainly not helping him. And we have to say this, over the last couple of weeks, weren't things like starting to get better between the two of them?
Yeah, it looked like that. Certainly we saw against Juventus, for example, away in the Champions League, their relationship really looked like blossoming on the pitch. We saw against Betis, certainly when Messi came on at half-time and created the goal for Griezmann, his first goal in the league with that little dummy, I was going to say quite a genius dummy, and the celebrations together and all of that. And then during the international break, there's this documentary on French television about Griezmann's life and how he beat all the odds and no one believed in him when he was a kid in France, had to move to Spain, blah, blah, blah. And his uncle was a big part of that documentary. And right at the end, when he comes to Barcelona, he says, well, I can't say too much, I don't want troubles. And then he still says, but training in Barcelona is not intense enough. They don't work hard because Messi doesn't work hard again. And then all that controversy that we had before with the former agent and all of that just coming back. And they were clearly waiting for Messi to come back from Argentina, 15 hours flight or something like that. And as soon as he lands, they're on him, asking him about Griezmann and everything. And you could sense his frustration anywhere about everything.
Ale, what do you make of it all, especially just a few hours before what's a really critical game for Barcelona in their season?
And to your earlier point about Antoine Griezmann and Lionel Messi actually coming together on the field, I think it comes because of necessity. It's a need-based relationship for Lionel Messi because he looks around and he says, well, who do I really trust here? Who's out on the field that I really think can do the job for us? Is it Dembele? No. Is it Pedri? Maybe. Trincao? Perhaps. But then there's not much more to look around. Ansu Fati is not available because of injury. And so therefore it's like, well, the other guy that's been here for a while now is Antoine Griezmann. So I might as well lean on him. And in doing that, that relationship that Julien is talking about has improved a little bit. Not too much, but has improved noticeably to the point to where we're saying, okay, maybe this is taking a step forward. And very much like Barcelona, they take a step forward and now a step back. Because, of course, as Lionel Messi gets off the plane and then people start putting this on his lap, the last thing that he wants to do is have to react to this. In fact, I'm surprised that he reacted to it at all. To me, it really feels like it's somewhat manufactured in that we're taking the words from a former agent and then the words of an uncle and then you're sort of adding two and two and you're saying, you know what, that's coming directly from Antoine Griezmann. And it's not quite the case. I think it's one of those where Lionel Messi would have been better served just to kind of walk by and say, okay, dude, really? This is way, way, way below my pay grade. I will not stoop down to your level. I'll just keep on working, doing my job. And me and Antoine Griezmann are going to be an important part of Barcelona's success in the future.
Jules, Ale just went through pretty much all of Barcelona's 11. We had you pick what you think will be Atleti's 11 for this match. Of course, the headline is no Luis Suarez because of COVID. I have to say, from like a neutral perspective, it's such a letdown. If there was one game on the calendar this year, it was an angry Luis Suarez looking for revenge against Barcelona that I wanted to see.
Completely, and I think neutrals, non-neutrals, Atleti fans, Barca fans as well. This is Suarez against Koeman, the guy who kicked him up pretty much, the guy who spent 15 seconds on the phone saying, hey, you did great, but now it's goodbye. And you could just imagine, and especially knowing Luis Suarez, how he would be pumped up for that game, how he'd be ready to go, even if he's not fully fit, even if he traveled halfway through the world to go with Uruguay and play in the CONMEBOL qualifiers, to come back, the South America qualifiers, to come back and have that game to look forward to be ready, to be excited and going for it against defenders that he knows so well as well. And yet that's not going to happen. We will have the Griezmann against Atleti reunion that we had already last season, but not the Messi-Suarez reunion, not the Suarez-Koeman reunion, which, you're right, is a real shame.
Ale, you've been really high on Atletico Madrid all season. Can they do it without Suarez?
They can, and I think it's important for Atletico Madrid not only to have an opportunity to do it, but actually coming through with the result. Because the importance of this matchup for both teams, but in particular for Atletico Madrid, is I think they go and beat Barcelona. It's a springboard sort of result. It's a springboard sort of performance. It's what really gives you the sense of belief of, you know what? We can actually win this thing. it puts you in a path of success, in a path of self-belief, in a path of confidence. Whereas for Barcelona, if they win it, now Atletico Madrid comes back to the pack a little bit, and Barcelona then gets a sense that maybe they believe, maybe it's not as bad as we think it is. Maybe the roof is not caving in as we thought it was going to at some point early in the season. It really is an opportunity for both teams to take a step forward. But for Atletico Madrid, who I continue to say they have been the most consistent team in Spain, considering Real Madrid and Barcelona, if we think that they are the favorites indeed, and we're going to ignore Real Sociedad and Villarreal for a second, and we're going to say, okay, of all these three, who's been the most consistent? It's no question and no doubt it's been Atletico Madrid. If they beat Barcelona without Luis Suarez, who, by the way, would have enjoyed waltzing right there into Barcelona and saying, not only am I here to beat you guys, but I'm here with a team that may just win this whole thing. We will miss that, but there's an opportunity here for both teams to really, really get their season going in the correct direction. Atletico Madrid towards a championship, and for Barcelona to continue to be a contender rather than a team that is just going to kind of be a mid-table team hoping to get on a run at some point in the season.
Jules, prediction time for you. Who do you have on Saturday?
Yes, I agree with that. It's a big one. I mean, let's not forget that Atleti haven't beaten Barcelona for 10 years now. The last time was 2010. That's, I think, 20 games in a row in the league. It's pretty an incredible record so far from Barca. No Busquets, no Ansu Fati on one side, no Suarez, as we said, but no Herrera either, who's been so good for Atleti. And of course, no Lucas Torreira, who also tested positive for COVID. I still think that Barca can go to Madrid and get a point, so I'll go for a draw.
Ale, I want to get back to Lionel Messi just for a second because we can't talk about him enough. And the quote that we saw at the beginning of the segment, being tired, almost like he's tired of being at Barcelona. When this whole saga started at the beginning of the season, I thought him coming back would give Barcelona a better chance of holding on to him. Are you more convinced now that he's on his way out when this is all over? Do you think there is a way back?
Well, there's a way back because Bartomeu is out, and he seemed to be the real difference here. He really seemed to be the person, and I think it became personal, that once that relationship deteriorated and the lack of trust deteriorated, then I think Lionel Messi said, I've had enough. Now that Bartomeu is out of the picture, it's what happens from here on out that will determine whether Lionel Messi is out or whether he stays. If indeed Barcelona gives Lionel Messi reasons to stay and palpable, tangible reasons and a plan for the future, and this is what we're doing, and this is the structure that the club is going to have, and this is how we're going to get players, and this is the sort of players that we're going after, and you actually see proof of that, of an actual organization that are making informed decisions, then I think Lionel Messi stays. If it's more of the same, even post-Bartomeu, then I think Messi goes. But in order for him to stay or go, it'll start in games like this against Atletico Madrid in Madrid, that Barcelona can still show to Messi and to themselves, and Messi can show them as well, that they can still win this sort of games. They do enough of that, Messi will stay. If they don't, he gone.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.